He wanted to do it. For many of us, when we want something to happen, we're going to go out and try to make that happen. For example, if you wanted Chinese food for dinner, you'd probably go to the grocery store and pick out the ingredients yourself, or at least place a carryout order on your way home. If you wanted a raise at work, you'd probably put in a few extra hours every week, or at least buddy up with someone higher up on the totem pole. But if you wanted to kill your wife, you'd probably go get your gun and shoot her. That's exactly what the defendant, Jesse Saucedo, did to his own wife in their own home in front of his own child. And that's why we, the state, have brought a charge of murder against the defendant. Now, to prevail on this charge, we had to prove two things. First, that the defendant did murder his own wife, or that he caused her death and did so with malice aforethought, or that he wanted to do it. And second, that he did not act in self-defense, or that he did not have a reasonable fear of being hurt himself. Now, it was our burden today to prove both of these things by beyond all reasonable doubt. I'm sure that's a term that some of you have heard before, and in a moment, the judge is going to explain more about that. But in the meantime, that means that it is a doubt based on common sense and reason. And we met that burden today, ladies and gentlemen, beyond all reasonable doubts. We met it by calling two witnesses to the stand. First, we called Billy Saucedo, the defendant's 9-year-old son. Billy witnessed this murder take place, and he told you that the moment his dad came home, he was acting weird, that he had been drinking his funny sodas all day, that he was drunk, that at around dinner time, his dad burst into the kitchen and started screaming at his mom. His mom forced him out of the kitchen, but Billy told you that his mom didn't do anything else until she said, "What are you doing?" And then bang, 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 bang. The defendant shot her 6 times. Then Billy said, his dad just left. He ran off after shooting his wife. We also brought Mr. Michael Jones to the stand. And yes, Mr. Jones and Miss Saucedo were having an affair. But in the course of that affair, Mr. Jones learned exactly what kind of people the Saucedos were. He told you that the defendant would constantly show up to Billy's piano recitals drunk and would heckle him from the crowd. He also told you that the defendant would berate his own wife and would abuse her. He told you about a specific time where he abused Miss Saucedo so badly that she had to try and cover up the bruises with makeup. But he also told you about Miss Saucedo herself and told you that she would never try to hurt the defendant in any way. But you don't have to listen to Mr. Jones. You don't have to listen to Billy either. You don't even have to listen to anything that I've been saying to you. You can just listen to the defendant himself. Because when I got up here and I cross-examined him, he admitted to everything. He admitted that he had 4 drinks that day and that he was drunk and couldn't remember what was happening. But he did remember going to his safe to get his gun. He did remember getting his gun because he wanted to scare his wife for cheating on him. And he admitted to shooting her. Now, he can't tell you anything else other than that he agrees with everything that we've been telling you. So instead, he brought his brother to the stand, John Saucedo. But John has a few problems of his own. He loves his brother quite a lot. In fact, he loves his brother so much, and I want to make sure I get this right, that he said, "I'll do anything for my brother. Lie, cheat, and steal." Now, when I confronted him about this fact today, he wanted you to believe that that was all just talk. But in his interview with police officers, he reiterated that he would stand by his brother no matter what, that any snitches would get stitches. You also learned that John himself has a history of lying on the stand, as he was recently released for perjury right before this murder happened. That is what the defense wants you to believe. That is how they get to reasonable doubt. But that's a decision for you to make, members of the jury. In a moment, once the judge is finished reading you the instructions, this case will turn over to you, and you'll have the opportunity to read and reread all the evidence we've shown you and weigh it. And when you do go back and deliberate, you'll see that the defendant wanted to go get his gun. He wanted to scare his wife, and he wanted to shoot her. And he did, because he wanted this to happen. Find the defendant guilty of murder. Thank you.